Hello, welcome back to the Steampunk Saga. So last episode I said we were going to be building the fisherman's hut and getting things up to speed. We left the front of the colony looking very bare bones, so let's jump into a time lapse of the fisherman's hut going up. Now you should really get the fisherman's hut way earlier than I did. I left it a long time. I probably should have built it sooner, but you know what? If you got other food, it doesn't really matter. We'd planned to build the fisherman's hut, but the steampunk style has two different ones. And one of them was a bit of a submarine bay, which looked a little bit janky, so we decided to skip it. Now we also have the walls behind, and they're going to need a bit of attention as well. We had to keep a close eye on our builder here because, yeah, building the fisherman's hut, well, it's by the water, and we lost our last builder to drowning, which is the last thing you want to happen. Now, once the fisherman's hut was complete, I wanted to get the walls and the fisherman's hut up to level 3. So while the walls were being upgraded, we upgraded Miraseria's builder's hut to level 3. Now all of our builders level 3. We also got the fisherman's hut up to level 3, but we can't get the walls up to level 4 until we get our builder's huts to level 4. So conquering level 4 is going to be the goal this episode. Let's jump in. Okay, yeah, the fisherman's hut level 3, amazing, but what's crazy is we've got this building up to level 3. We don't even have a fisherman yet. Now it looks like Quipples Kevinson is hanging around outside the fisherman's hut, and I think if a colonist is this obsessed with a building, it will be criminal to not make them the worker in the building, I guess. But let's check her stats to make sure she's okay. Oh man. So we could get Edison Copperbottom to be our fisher, and he has Focus 20, Agility 19, but Quipples really wants it, and you know, just like in real life, sometimes the person who's most qualified isn't the best for the job. Is that true? Well, it is today. Quipples, you're our new fisherman. Or fisherwoman. Fisherperson. Fisher-Price. Oh yeah, looking great. She's got the little kind of flies on her jacket. And she has a problem, obviously. She needs a fishing rod. We don't actually have a Fletcher yet, so we have no way to make that. But yeah, pretty good. Now the walls are level 3. We couldn't get to level 4, even though these aren't like a normal building. They're just a decoration. You're still prohibited from going to level 4 if your builder's hut isn't level 4. At least I think that's true. We can give it a try, but I don't think these guys can actually go to level 4. So where are these decoration markers? They're usually quite easy to find. Here we go. Oh, whoa, okay, yeah. So there's no way we can go to level 4 anyway because we don't have any Skulk Shriekers or Skulk Sensors. What a weird thing to need for, like, a piece of wall. Also, redstone repeaters? Why? Well, there we go. We can't go to level 4 even if the builder could build it. But it's really good to finally have all of our builder's huts up to level 3. Now, the big question is, all of our builder's huts are exactly the same style, which is great because it means if we work out what we need to get the builder's hut to level 4, that's going to be true for all of the buildings. So let's take a look. Build options, level 4. So it needs framed exposed copper, not a problem. Here we go, prismarine. So like I said, the big thing blocking you from level 4 most of the time is the sea biome and, you know, the underground kind of water temple. And no, we're not talking Zelda, but yeah, prismarine bricks. Now, luckily enough, that's basically the only tricky thing. Dark prismarine, regular prismarine, you know, that's actually quite easy to get because we have create. Usually we'd need to go over to the ocean biome. There's absolutely no way to sidestep that if you're playing vanilla. Luckily enough, we are playing create. So, is there a steampunk way to get prismarine? Let's take a look. So prismarine is made from, prismarine shards. Prismarine shards are, oh hey, yeah, look at this, bulk haunting, so we can haunt lapis to become prismarine and prismarine crystals. That's actually insanely good news, because lapis is very easy to find. We could also use a sifter. A sifter at level 4 or 5 with gravel and an iron mesh will get you, lapis, diamonds, emeralds, gold and iron. Oh man, that would be a huge injection of materials into our colony. But we can't get to level 4 until we have the builders at level 4 anyway. So let's go and see if we can grab some lapis, turn this stuff into prismarine. Oh man, but this is really big, really huge news. 83. Now that's not a huge amount, but I don't think we're going to need that much to get the buildings built. Most of the time, when a building requires things like prismarine to get to level 4, it doesn't mean the whole building is made out of prismarine. It usually means the building includes like maybe 6 or 7 blocks from that biome. So it's kind of like proof that you've been there, but not proof that you've gone there and basically gathered a million prismarine. So if we split it into stacks of 16 and put it in the haunting setup. Oh yeah, now haunting is basically an encased fan from Create blowing through a soul campfire. And it's really useful for getting some end game materials without actually going to those special areas. Really cool. So honestly, there's no real reason now why our entire colony can't be level 3. We've got loads and loads of copper from mining. We've also got our copper aging decoration that lets you oxidize copper. Another really cool tip that you guys mentioned in the comment section was that the mechanics hut will take oxidized copper, like the totally green stuff you see on that mine over there. It can take blocks of that and turn it into any specific level of oxidization that your builders require, which is really good news. It means you don't have to get the specific level and worry about monitoring your copper oxidization. That does, however, mean we need to do 2 things. We need to research the mechanics hut so we can actually get that copper oxidized in the right state. Also, what would be really cool is if we could finally get our ore factory working by doing the research that lets us turn deep slate into tuff. Now, as you can see, I have upgraded all of these buildings over here in the industrial trench up to level 3. So that's the blacksmith, the sawmill, the builder's hut was already level 3, and of course on the end, the crusher's hut. Really good news, there's still a lot to tidy up over here. We've got to make these walls look nice, give the colonists a proper way to get down here. But how's it going, Dusk Langley? Are you chilling over here on the bench? Now, as you can see, even though this building is level 3 now, it still doesn't have the recipes to turn deep slate into tuff. Okay. And that means we need to do some research. So it looks like we're going back to school. So here we go. Yeah, the big ones we're going to want to do is what you need. It's going to cost 64 redstone, but that's going to get us the mechanic's hut. We can only do that now because the blacksmith's hut is finally level 3. Great news. Also, what are we going to do? Let's take a look. Sieving, yeah, that's right. With the sifter's hut, we can get more materials quicker. Specifically things like diamonds, emeralds, coal, and lapis. And we can do that now because the fisherman's hut is also level 3 as well. Oh, very cool. So that's 2 big researches. 64 string and 64 redstone. Let's go grab them, Ninkus. Wait, you're not Ninkus. You're a throat wobbler. Where's Ninkus? There he is, old Blondie. So here we go, 1 stack of string, 1 stack of redstone, 2 amazing researches in the bag. Let's take a look. So it was sieving. There we go, underway. Amazing stuff. Next up, we're going to want to do... where is it? There it is, what you need. Well, what we need is a mechanic's hut. Oh man, this is going to be great. And also, these are 2 buildings that we can probably put in the industrial sector. Sieving is a weird one because sieving requires like a water source, so often it can be cool to build it on the coast. But it really does depend on what the building looks like. If the building design is very coastal, we'll put it on the coast. If it's not coastal, we'll put it in the industrial district. That's something we'll find out down the line. So what is next on our list of things to do? What buildings do we need to improve? Well, the mine has been level 2 now for a while. ages ago we tried to upgrade it, but we didn't have the materials. Now we've got the copper oxidization hut. That does look like it's going to change. Yeah, this was the reason 41 blocks of exposed copper was a little bit tricky. Wow, yeah, and 81 blocks of normal copper, even trickier. Whoa, 70 copper stairs. Yeah, this was a pretty tricky build for us to do. Luckily enough, you can see I'm level 27. Why am I level 27? Well, because I spent a fair few hours digging through the mines, grabbing as much copper, iron, and zinc as I could. So we should have enough now to get the mine up to level 3. So we'll press the button on that. And I think Mirror is close enough to this one. There we go. Now when I upgrade the mine to level 3, what I'm probably going to have to do is come over to these smaller incidental huts at the front, the stone smelter, the smeltery, and the stonemason, and also upgrade those as well, because I don't think upgrading the mine upgrades those smaller buildings automatically. I think we have to do the upgrading manually ourselves. Now there's another building that I really do want to be level 3. And that, my friends, is going to be the university. So this big floating block that we have up here, this is a school, and building the university up to level 3 should finally expand this across so the school becomes a very real hut. But again, let's take a look and see what's required to get this building up, because there's probably a good reason why we didn't upgrade it before. No, you know what? This all looks fairly simple. Wow, yeah, there's nothing here that's hard. A jukebox is interesting, but not tricky, not beyond our expertise. Yeah, do you know what? This is all good in the hood. So I reckon we can get this upgraded as well. And we're going to get Lord Farquaad on this because he's basically right next door. So that means that Mirror has a job, Farquaad has a job, our last builder doesn't really have a job. So why can't we get Deep Slate into Tough? There was a research we had to do. Let's see if we can find that. Yeah, that's right. It was Knowledge of the Depth. Crusher learns Deep Slate and Tough recipes. And that's exactly why we need this university up to level 3, because that's going to let us research that. It's a pretty big one. Now, speaking of the mine, let's go and take a look and see how our miners are doing. Ambriel Blight is missing torches. Okay, so when we moved the sawmill and the blacksmith's hut, we did remove some of the recipes these miners need to actually do their jobs. But let's take a poke around her mine. If you don't mind, Ambriel, poking around your mine. I'm sure she's fine with it. And let's see what she's done, because I think these miners have gotten to the bottom of their shaft, but they haven't done anything. Oh, no, wait, hang on a sec. What's this? Looks like a tunnel to me. Ah, yeah. So she's been hard at work, but she has run out of materials to continue. Very cool. Now there should be a signpost that says how deep we are. We're at Y51. That's pretty close to the surface. And if we want her to go deeper, that's right, Ambriel, you need to go deeper, way deeper. To find the deep slate we need for the ore factory, we're going to need to upgrade this building as well. Now, luckily enough, this mine is from the colonial style, which honestly means the materials are so much simpler. But this looks like a good job for Violatia. So that is the mine over here, the big mine complex, the university, and our colonial mine all getting upgraded to level 3. That's going to be really good. Now before we do that, we're going to get the clipboard out, go over to our sawmill and our blacksmith, and make sure our dudes actually know the recipes they need to keep the miners up and running. Now also what's pretty important to do is go over to the builder and make sure, so we're going to give this guy a couple of easy recipes that are going to get us started. So Lord Farquaad should absolutely know how to make sticks and charcoal into torches. Very important. Now we're also going to teach him how to make planks, because I think he can. Yeah, there we go. It's a simple recipe, but why not? The builder can have like a few recipes. And if you don't make use of your builders and your incidental hut recipes, like these 2x2 ones, you will run out of space in your buildings like the sawmill for the big recipes that need the sawmill. Because likewise, it's going to be really good to teach this guy how to make sticks as well. It's a very important recipe. Okay, very cool. So what does the clipboard say? What recipes are missing? Oh, so the miner wants some mossy cobblestone. That could be a tricky one. That's a really awkward building material to make the miner need. The mossy cobblestone slabs are just mossy cobblestone. Okay. But mossy cobblestone itself is quite tricky. So there's 3 options we have here. Vines, willow vines, and moss blocks. Previously, moss blocks are pretty common around the world, so I've gathered some up. But we're going to need renewable mossy cobblestone because, yeah, the miner's going to need loads of this to make big, sprawling mines. Oh, what do you know? We can get a plantation that will grow vines. That is one option. And it honestly looks like the best one. Now, why don't we have a plantation? Well, we don't have a plantation because we couldn't do the research for it. And we couldn't do the research for it because we didn't have the composter's hut. And if memory serves, that was the other building I was going to build with the fisherman's hut. But we kind of forgot it because it's on the other end of the colony that we kind of hardly ever go to. So we're going to come over here and Mirasaria is going to pause work on the mine for now because we need her to build a composter's hut. Here we go. So we can go to work orders and just basically cancel this. We can always go back and add it after the fact. But it's more important for now that we get the composter's hut up and running. So here it is. This floating beast right here is the composter's hut. If we right click, we can go to build options, get Mirasaria in here. And yeah, the materials are very, very simple. So my friends, let's time-lapse this going up to level 3. So the composter's hut, a very simple build that's not going to take Mirasaria too long to build. She's quite close to this location. There's not a great deal of materials, and the building itself is very small. But the main reason we're building this isn't really for the compost, but more for the research, which is why we absolutely have to get this building all the way from level 1 up to 2, and then finally to 3. Also, it's very exciting news. This is a brand new building, and we're going to need to hire a colonist to get to work inside this dirty compost building. Alright, let's jump in and get this done. Oh yeah, the dirtiest building in the colony. It's the composter's hut, and I'm sorry because we do need to get a colonist in here working, and it's a really dirty job. Your job is basically to take mulch, which the forester is going to start to gather. We'll give him some shears, and he's going to start to gather leaves. Then these leaves are going to go into these barrels, and you're going to churn it up until it's just a whole bunch of dirt. Ugh, pretty sucky, but it's got to be done. This is going to be really helpful for our farms. It's going to increase production over there massively. So, which one of you dudes is going to be our composter? Oh man, well I feel like it's poetic justice. Edison Copperbottom. It's a really steampunk name. A name perfect to be a mechanic, however, because he stole a light bulb from Nikola Tesla. That's right, Edison, you massive fraud. We're going to punish him by making him a composter. Yeah, get on over here, you dirty scoundrel. Oh yeah, look at that. And he's wearing a mask because, yeah, I guess this is stinky work. So the settings are simple. You basically tell the composter what you want him to compost. And we want him to do basically all of the leaves. So it's oak leaves, spruce leaves, and we'll leave it at that for the moment. Now you can also, well, yeah, you can compost a whole bunch of stuff. You can compost wool. You can compost food. You can even compost emu eggs. I mean, I don't know where they come from, but they're a thing, sure. You can compost cooked mutton, minced beef. There is just loads and loads of options here. So if you've got a surplus of food, that can also come over here as well. But it does mean we have to go over to the forester's hut and make sure this guy is actually starting to chop leaves now as well. So the big thing is, this is kind of where you're going to want to maybe build 2 foresters, because chopping leaves takes a lot of time for your forester. Here we go, break leaves on, use shears on. So we'll have to make sure he can get some shears, but the blacksmith has been equipped with the recipe for shears, so that should be okay. Now, the research has been done while we've been doing this, so what I want to do is take a look at the sifter's hut. We're going to go and craft it, get inside the Quadimodo, and see what this thing looks like. So here we go. Now we really just want to make sure we know what this looks like before we place it down, because it could be that it's kind of built to be placed on the waterfront, or it could be just a regular building. I don't know. Okay, so at level 1, this is a very simple building indeed. At level 2, it gets a bit better. 3, kind of better. 4, okay. And 5, yeah, sure. It basically looks identical to the Crusher's hut, which is a bit of a shame. I think a lot of the builds in the steampunk style have been kind of recycled, but it does mean this is going to be perfectly at home over in the industrial district. So what we're also going to do is go and make the mechanic's hut, because we've got the research for that. We'll see what this looks like as well. So here we go, the mechanic's hut, and this is an exciting building. Look at the size of this thing, and it kind of makes sense, right? Because the mechanic is a pretty core steampunk idea. At level 1, it looks okay. At level 2, it looks very similar. We're going to skip 3 and 4 and see what this looks like at level 5. Wow, okay, yeah, so the front comes around and it becomes a bit of an L-shaped building. Now this is really big. It might be a bit too big for our industrial sector, but it looks very cool indeed. I wonder what the internals are like. Well, we can fly through these walls because they're not real. Oh my god. Oh my actual god. What is going on in here? What is this device? Bluestone. Right-click the note block to activate the contraption. Oh my god. This sounds exciting. By pushing in the soul sand, the water gets bubbles. This is picked up by the observer. Inspired by an experiment from Ilmango. Combo lock without redstone dust, repeater, or redstone torch. Oh my god. Well, I mean, this is pretty insane. I don't know what this is. I can't wait to get this built and see what this thing is and how it works. So a massive thank you for watching this episode, my dudes. What we're going to try and do between now and next episode is get as many buildings as we can to at least level 3. We have the materials to do that. Also, I'm going to get the builder's huts to level 4 because that's a pretty important stage as well. That's going to unlock a whole bunch for us going forwards. So it's going to be time-lapse galore next episode. As always, a massive thank you for watching. Any advice, tips, tricks, or comments are more than welcome, so hammer those in. I do love to read them. And until next time, my dudes, take care.